VeggieTales, the Kid Crayon Caper. Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to read is silly. The names have been changed to protect the serious. Bob and I were celebrating. We had just solved the case of the fuzzy shoestring. It turned out the shoestring wasn't a shoestring after all, but a really, really long and fuzzy caterpillar. I named him Harold. Solving mysteries about caterpillars is part of my job. I'm a detective. Larry the Cucumber is my name. My partner is Bob the Tomato. He carries a badge. I carry a badger. Don't ask why. When the call came in, Bob answered. The caller yelled, "Help, help! Someone sabotaged my art show last night." Sabotage? I cried. That's when someone secretly ruins someone else's plans. Don't worry, Kid Crayon, we are on it, Bob said into the phone. I couldn't believe it. Kid Crayon? We were going to meet the one and only Kid Crayon? Wow. 9:27 a.m. I hopped into the car and headed for the Madame Blueberry Gallery of Trendy Art at the corner of Sculpture Street and Painting Place. On the way, I told Bob all about Kid Crayon. He's the most famous crayon artist in the whole world. Why, his picture of Mona Lisa is worth millions. I'm his biggest fan. I then realized that something was missing, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Bob was being really quiet. Bob, what's missing? I asked, turning to look at him. That was it. Bob was missing. Oops, I spun the car around to go get him. 9:46 a.m. Bob and I arrived at the gallery and got down to business. You say the art show was sabotaged? Bob asked. That's when someone secretly ruins someone else's plans. I decided to impress Kid Crayon. My employees disappeared, explained Kid Crayon. Nobody was there to greet the guests. The food didn't get served. The lemonade didn't get poured. The review in today's Veggie Gazette says I'm a terrible host. Kid Crayon was almost in tears. I'm an artist genius. This could ruin my career. Don't worry, Kid Crayon, said Bob. Detective Larry and I will get to the bottom of this, unless he forgets me again. I didn't hear what Bob said, but I did get Kid Crayon's photograph before we took off to search for the missing employees. 10:17 a.m. We arrived at the Lunt House. Someone sabotaged Kid Crayon's art show last night, Bob told Mr. Lunt. That's when someone secretly ruined someone else's plans, I explained helpfully. And you've been reported missing, I said, of course. That was silly. He was standing right in front of us. You worked for Kid Crayon, is that correct? I asked Mr. Lunt. Yes, he said. I was director of saying hello to guests when they arrive, but I quit yesterday for professional reasons. Such as? Bob asked Mr. Lunt. Mr. Lunt didn't answer. I knew he was holding something back, but what wasn't he saying? I didn't know. He wasn't saying it. 10:29 a.m. We left the Lunt House without any helpful information. It was time to check the address of the next missing employee, Pa Grape. To our surprise, he wasn't missing either. He was at home baking a batch of cookies with popcorn sprinkles. I was Kid Crayon's master chef in charge of making yummy stuff to eat, he told us. But I quit yesterday for professional reasons. 10:35 a.m. Pa Grape wouldn't say any more. So we hurried to the address of the last missing employee, Laura Carrot. She wasn't missing either. She was home polishing her collection of metal flamingo statues. She told us I was Kid Crayon's official server who walks around and offers frizzy drinks with little umbrellas in them to the guests, but I couldn't stand it anymore, Laura suddenly cried. None of us could. Kid Crayon used to be a nice guy, but now that he's famous, he thinks he's better than we are. You mean his ego is out of control? Bob asked. Yes, said Laura. He was so rude, we all quit. I was shocked. Kid Crayon, genius artist, had an ego? No. He started to treat us like we weren't even there, Laura added. Bob mumbled to himself. Gee, I know how that feels. I couldn't make out what Bob said, but I figured it wasn't important. There was only one thing to do. Confront Kid Crayon. 11:52 a.m. We returned to Madame Blueberry's gallery of trendy art along with Kid Crayon's 3 not missing after all employees. We've cracked the case, Bob told Kid Crayon. Turns out that nobody sabotaged your art show. That's when someone secretly ruined someone else's plans, I blurted. I couldn't help it. It was a habit now. Seems like you let fame go to your head, kid, Bob went on. Your employees quit last night. They claim you were rude to them. Is this true? Kid Crayon looked confused. I was rude to you? He asked, turning to his employees. Laura Carrot, Pa Grape, and Mr. Lunt all nodded sadly. I had no idea. I guess I caught up in the glitz and glamour of being a famous artist. Kid Crayon said, I forgot all about my friends. I'm really sorry, guys. We forgive you, chorused his 3 employees. They were so glad to have the old Kid Crayon back. Well, that was easy, I said, feeling good about things. Another case solved, right, partner? Bob didn't say a word. He had been acting strange all day. I had never seen him act like this before. I couldn't take it anymore. Are you okay, Bob? I asked. Finally, he clued me in. When you left me behind this morning, it really hurt my feelings. But you didn't even seem to notice that I was sad. Wow, I guess I didn't notice, I said. I know it hurts when people forget about you. I never meant to hurt Bob's feelings. I'm really sorry, Bob, I said. Bob smiled. That's all I needed to hear. You're forgiven, partner. Case closed.